speaking of a team that's going to be on TV all the time, that's going to be the Kansas City Chiefs for the foreseeable future because they got Patrick Mahomes and that offense that is explosive and electrifying. Remember, Mecole Hardman had 3 touchdowns this past week. Travis Kelce had 4 the week before that. Juju Smith-Schuster's getting hard. MVS is starting to find his way. CEH does his thing. There has been a trade. The Kansas City Chiefs have traded with the New York Giants for Kadarius Toney, weapon, wide receiver. The Chiefs will trade a conditional 3rd-round pick and 6th-round pick to the Giants. So the offense that is unstoppable adds Kadarius Toney, who has been a conversation piece around the New York Giants for the last 2 years, I think. Very explosive, electrifying. Everything that you want to potentially describe him as is everything you can describe everybody on their fucking offense in which they have somehow 17 starters and only 11 can make it onto the field. This Chiefs team gets better. What's going on, Tone?
I was going to say, I didn't say this, you didn't say this, but people said this. He was supposed to be the next Tyreek Hill. So that's kind of interesting when they make this trade or whatever, you know. And he's been He's hurt. I think he's been hurt all year. I don't think he's played yet this
year. 3rd and a 6th.
That's a lot, right?
When
he was the first.
The upside
2 years ago.
2 years ago.
When this guy gets into the, you know, the full, because I think they got Travis Kelce moving a lot.
Yep.
Hardman.
Andy Reid probably wants that pre-snap movement.
Yeah.
Okay, we need pre-snap movement. We need a guy that can run. Who's the next who'd they say next time? Yeah, let's get the next Tyreek Hill. Now, even if he isn't Tyreek Hill and we're not able to create as many yards as Tyreek Hill, at least we'll be able to have somebody that can do all of the fucking eye candy that Tyreek Hill used to do for that offense and distract the incredibly intelligent defense that you only need a second with because Patrick Mahomes can throw an absolute dart and a dime and has incredible accuracy. What the fuck? How come the teams that are so good are always the ones that are so aggressive? How come every other team that isn't aggressive, you know, is able to sell a tale of it's too much for that. You think that guy? You think how come everybody's able to do that? And then the really good teams are so fucking aggressive.
Yeah, the Kadarius Toney thing especially kind of just underscores like he was a 1st-round pick 2 years ago, and they got next to no production for him. Like he barely played, so it's just like, all right, fuck it, get rid of him. We'll take a 3rd.
The Giants stunk that year.
Exactly, exactly. But it
was Jason Garrett, who's good on TV.
He is pretty good.
Hey, Jason Garrett. Very good on TV.
Calling Notre Dame games.
He's not on that Football Night in America. I think he does a really good job. When he was coaching, this is all we saw.
Yeah.
So I think we all judged him for maybe being a fucking robot. But I think whenever you hear him on NBC, Football Night in America, he's pretty fucking good.
Pretty good.
He carries Saturdays too.
Yeah, he's pretty fucking good. Jason Garrett is very good on TV. I hope he stays there. Congrats, Jason Garrett, player, coach, inside, knows everything. Happy for him. But nonetheless, their offense is being called by him. He hadn't called plays in like 13 years or something like that because he was the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys, or 11 or 10, whatever it was. Brand new game. So maybe Kadarius Toney literally had zero chance. And this year he's been hurt a bunch with the new offense that seems to actually be productive. So this guy could... They got another 1st-round pick, basically.
He did have a couple game stretch where he was unbelievable last year. But like, how much of this is
motivated now too? He's on the Chiefs.
This was a Gettleman pick and a different coach and stuff like that. I assume. And
there's certainly no loyalty between us. No. And also the fan base probably has a pretty negative opinion on Kadarius Toney because there was some shit talk.
Yeah.
I think
they love him. Yeah.
Oh, they love him.
The New York Giants fan base loves him.
Because he had a sweet rap album, I believe.
He has
a rap album.
Oh, so they thought they didn't think he was a bust after the first year after all that stuff happened, and then he didn't do as much as everybody thought he was maybe going to do because he had an inept offense at the time?
Yeah, I think it was like, hey, can't wait until this guy's on the field more because he is explosive and he's going to be a dog.
Is this the first heel play by Dable?
Feels like it.
The Buffalo Bills.
Because they blame Judge for the struggles with Toney originally.
Here's our native Giants fan.
Hey.
Hey.
Kadarius is a beast. He's unbelievable.
So the Giants fans love him. They're just bummed that it never worked out there, or what?
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. He's been dealing with a hamstring for, it seems like, basically his entire time with the Giants. He came back, practiced one day, and then just didn't practice again. So I'm kind of curious if there's like kind of more to it, where he was just like, you know what, fuck this place.
James Harden,
like Shams was talking about yesterday.
Yeah, what Shams alluded to Russell Wilson doing. Did you hear that? Did you hear that?
I did. That was disrespectful.
Fucked up.
Because we need wide receivers too, so it is.
And you guys are a good team.
Yeah. They don't have one receiver over 200 yards.
The curious tale of
Kadarius
Toney.
Oh. Next rap
This also just goes back to your point. Like, draft capital doesn't matter unless your team fucking sucks. Like, all these teams that are good that could go win a Super Bowl.
Well, draft capital doesn't matter at all. I'm going to go on the record, and this is just as somebody who, dealt with the bottom half of the roster most of my career. Very lucky to do that. Special teams, it's the bottom half of the roster, There is a lot of draft picks that just fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh undrafted. Just in my experience, you might as well put them all in the same. The undrafted guys, and who knows? There's probably statistics to this, but people acting as if these draft picks fucking are gonna hit and matter, and that they're the best player that has ever come from that round. I was picked 222. Very lucky to do so. AQ was picked after me somehow. There was only a couple picks after me. AQ was picked after me. He played for 12 years. I think a lot of teams would wish that they had him on their fucking team. Then so many first, second, third, fourth rounders that they're drafting offensive line. It's just, I think the draft is a much bigger guessing game than people say. After the first 2 rounds, after the
Even there.
but the humans that are there normally don't exist back here, right? Like the 6'6",
The size.
4'3".
Like Tomlin
Yeah,
said.
the athletic
Measurables.
makeup.
Yeah, what Mike Tomlin said to Chase, I ain't never going to lose enough games until 2022 to get somebody that looks like you, is what he said to Chase Young or whatever. He was like, I ain't never going to lose enough to get somebody that looks like you. That's a real thing. Like A.J. Hawk, he ran a 4.4 at a 40-inch vertical, was fucking 250 or whatever. That dude ain't going to be around 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th round, right? Those potentials aren't going to be there. So I think there's way too much stock in the draft, and I think it's because there's so many jobs in NFL buildings that revolve around the draft. The amount of scouts and the amount of departments there are for college scouting and figuring out your draft and the draft board and the draft spectacular that we have. It's our fucking biggest night, and we mock it every year. I mean, I don't like the theory that you have to get more draft picks to build a winner. I think you got to get proven fucking guys. And I am always going to feel that way. And I guess people will say you can't have a salary cap that way, but
Yeah, you're seeing more teams go that way too.
The winning
Kinda
teams.
Yeah, the fuck them picks team to kind of figure it out down the line. And it depends.
the winning team, but that's who it is.
That's a fact. And the picks, I mean, like you said, it's a guessing game at that point, but it's also so important, like what type of buildings these picks and players are going into.
Okay,
like
gotcha.
what type of environment, not only the head coach, but like what type of meeting room is that corner that you're drafting, going into. What type of guy is that draft pick? Like his character, like that matters. All that stuff matters, and I don't think enough onus is put on that. But like
You think that's a bigger indicator
That's a huge
on the building if a draft pick doesn't work out?
yes.
Because there is a lot of draft picks that don't work out.
Yeah.
And that's because there's a lot of bad buildings, I guess. That's why there's so many firings and turnover.
You got 21 and 22-year-olds coming in there getting drafted, obviously getting paid a lot of money, but now you're a pro. You got to figure it out. So some guys like a Patrick Surtain, like he was prepared from he was 5 years old for that. But then you got other guys who walk into a building and you need like some OGs to kind of take them under the wing. You need good coaches who can communicate with these guys the right way, who could teach
And
them
plans.
how to learn game plans, using their strengths. Like Tony, for instance, like I don't think his strengths were used in the Giants offense. And now when he gets with Andy Reid, when he gets to Kansas City 4 weeks from now, we'll probably be looking at this guy like, oh shit.
Of course, a third and a
unbelievable.
sixth rounder. Everybody's going to say it's too much, a third and a sixth rounder, and I assume people are celebrating that, thinking it's a good deal if you're the Giants. I do not. I don't give a
could be, though.
fuck about the third or the sixth. What's